Hello? Hello, please? Let me see here. What is happening? Oh, it actually did update my Twitch title this time. Nice. Nice. Morning. Guten Morgen. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Okay. YouTube, hello. Okay. Okay, let me check the analytics here. Are we looking good? Good connection and everything. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. What are we doing? Yeah, I am midway through refactor of my terrain system. I've decided to create a kind of terrain generation instigator, invoker. Maybe invoker is a better name. Invoker to match the nav invokers. Yeah, I should change that now before it's too late. Let's do that real quick. There already was getting conflicts with the name instigator. Invoker also sounds cooler. It's like a class name. We don't need the core redirect for that. We just created it. But essentially what we've done is now we're gonna like register and unregister these little, it's just a U object. It's just a U object, and that way it can be used for entities too if I need to do that. Yeah. So we're gonna let's change all these actually. Invoker, I like that a lot better. Yes. So we can register and unregister these terrain generation invokers. And that's going to they're gonna have some settings on them for where the terrain can what kind of distances it can generate from. And it's going to be a lot more extensible than what we did have. Hello? What is this? Oh, did I fuck up the name on that? I did. It's supposed to be generation invokers. Okay, so let's go back through and change everything that I did here. Change this to... we can just change this to invoker now. Invoker. Good. Good. Okay, so now let's like fix everything else. Oh, there's probably some comments, right? Let me check. Instigator. Instigator, yeah. Okay. I love refactoring. Yeah, we gotta change all these too, don't we? Oh, Jesus, you see how many there are? There's so many. There's so many. Okay, let me change these variables first, though. Let me change these first. Hello, please. Thank you. Invoker. Yeah, we will need core redirects for those, because those have already been things. Those have been things. Let me see here. Instigator. There's no more instigator terminologies here. Okay, so now we're just left over to the CPP file side of things. Let me just do a quick peek here. Quick look through. Yeah, I think all these can change to just invoker. Yeah, replace all. Okay, so now, so I have like some of the code set up for the terrain generation here. Like we iterate over the X and Y directions. We check the distance, because if we just iterate over X, Y, that just creates a square. We want a circle, a radius. And so we need to check the distance of all of those, so it'll actually, like, you know, kind of chop off the corners and make a circle. And then we have to kind of like calculate the chunks that need to be loaded. So there's multiple stages to the terrain chunks loading, the first of which is to get a height map generated. So that's very important because that also lets me know what the highest point on the height map is to see if I need to generate any higher up terrain chunks. Oh, and I need to get my chat set up, don't I? Hang on one sec. Just packaged my UE project for the first time and threw it on a Steam Deck, only realized it runs like ass. Wow, that's crazy you packaged it and had no errors. First time I packaged my project, I had to go and change a ton of things. Is this PySpark? No, it is not. This is Unreal Engine. This is Unreal Engine, which, by the way, hang on. Which one is, okay, let me pin a little comment here. UE5, game dev, I'll just say procedural terrain today. And that. Okay. I spent like 4 hours total solving packaging errors. Okay, there's the standard Unreal Engine packaging process I know and love. There it is. Welcome in, Figuera. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. But yeah, Steam Deck, that's got to be rough to run on. Got to be rough. Okay, so for our terrain generation instigator, now again, this is just a U object, so I don't know if you can just create a default sub-object with a U object, or if it has to be a component. We're gonna find out. Oh, we gotta change a bunch of things, don't we? Terrain loaded, yeah, we need the A terrain generation invoker. It's actually U generation invoker. Now I suppose I need to tie like the parent on here, right? Because I need to know which player controller this belongs to when it spawns. Generation invoker. You're a game developer, dude. Mad respect. Thank you. Welcome in. I'm not sure what PySpark is, but this is not that. We are looking at Unreal Engine's flavor of C++ right now. Yeah, so I need the parent. I need like the owner. I need the owner here. Thank you. You can go away now. Let's actually, we're just gonna throw that on here. U property. I guess it's just another U object, like an owner. Although, don't U objects already have that? Hang on, let me see here. Let me see. Terrain generation instigator. Owner? No, I guess it needs to be, should it be a component? Should it be a component? Maybe. Because I can't just add components to my proxy actors now, my entities for my ECS system. So that's not too big of an issue. It just, a component seems like overkill, but yeah, let's make it a component. Fuck it, why not? U actor component. Fuck it, that way it'll work. And we have the owner and everything, and I don't have to do any fucksy-wucksy business. It's a data engineering tool. Ah, I see. Doing live stream on portrait mode as well. We also have the horizontal one as well. This is just for the YouTube Shorts algo, which does kind of pop off a little bit. But yeah, there's the horizontal stream as well. You can find that in my profile. So yeah, now we can, I suppose we can just like do one of these boys here. A player controller, and just like cast the generation invoker to that, and we'll just say like if we have one, if player controller, then we can do all that stuff. But yeah, it did take me a while to get the script working properly. I found a default mouse tracking script, but it did not work well for me, so I had to go in and edit it quite a bit. Okay, are you gonna be happy now? So we're working on refactoring the terrain generation system for my procedural terrain in Unreal Engine. So I was midway through that. Okay, I got to import some things. Don't know why I need to do that now, of all times. But yeah, after this runs, we're gonna run the terrain algorithm and see what happens. Hopefully, it just works the first time, because you know that's always how it goes, right? Let's see here. We're building. But yeah, what I'm working on is it's an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. And so I'm thinking of RPG, kind of something like Vanilla WoW, without the MMO part, of course, just more so in terms of, you know, you have classes, you have spells and abilities to choose from, you have talents, so deep talent trees to go through, and then the combat I think will probably be pretty similar, kind of tab targety, although more so actiony. And then we're gonna pair that with a colony sim, and that is going to be in the flavor of something like RimWorld. Much love to you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome in. Okay, so I saw a warning, but oh, I'm dumb. So that's gonna be wrong. That's why that warning was there. But we can just run live coding on that once we get into the editor. Yeah, you're right. That is an unrelated type. Just switched from DX12 to DX11, and I kid you not, doubled FPS. Yeah. All that old battle-hardened tech, you know? Same would probably go for UE4, honestly. Okay, we're almost booted up here. I don't know, the first build of the editor in a day always takes, like, forever. This needs to go over there. Okay, so let's run live coding before we do anything, because that's just not gonna work. I'll throw a breakpoint there too. And we'll want to take a peek at that once we get there. Excuse me. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's run. Let's run this joint. Oh, it's actually doing things. I'm surprised. Oh my god, is this gonna work the first time? It is actually doing things. It is actually, yeah, it's actually running a lot better now, holy shit. That worked the first time. Okay, we're hitting some assertions, that's fine, we can ignore those. Okay. Is it a little slower? It might be a little slower though. Because we're generating more chunks now. But we might not be done. Yeah, so it's not spawning the character. Not spawning the character. So cool. Thank you, my dude. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, the terrain spawned actually perfectly, I think. Because before, you know, I've refactored this like a million times over. But we were having some issues with the Z layer chunks underneath. We're not all generating. And I do need like some sort of subscription service or system rather I need to be able to subscribe to certain chunks being done is what I need. So we're gonna do that as well at some point. Now, why are you not loading the player? Where is that happening at? I've forgotten now. Procedural terrain system, terrain loaded. That's like on chunks finished generating. Right, okay. Okay, so where was that happening from? Invoker chunks to load, okay. So there's going to be no chunk finished. Okay, minimum chunks to load for the player to spawn there. Okay. Yeah, I need to see what this is. For all the chunks in Invoker chunks to load. find or add. What is invoker? What are we doing here? It's a map of generation invoker to the chunks that we need for that one. Right. Okay. Yeah, so we got to redo that. Let's redo the terrain gen. Pick a different seed too. 210, 211. Sure, why not? Okay. So what does this map look like? What's our data here? Give me the data. We have 80 chunks. 80 chunks to load. And we remove each one that finishes. So I guess we're never hitting there. I'm just gonna let this run for a second. And now I need to see a breakpoint. I need a breakpoint here in a second. Okay, is it actually like tabulating down? There we go. So how many do we have still? How many are in here now? 81. Okay. Okay, I think I changed the generation for this. So let's see what we're doing. Yeah, I think that makes sense that this is happening. So we're never going to spawn the player. We're never going to be spawning the player now. There's a nice red zone down here. Let's see. So yeah, I used to make it skip things that were already loaded, but now that there's like multiple generation stages, I'm just kind of like always pushing them. Chunks to load for the invoker, and then we add. We should probably also check if this chunk needs to be loaded. Otherwise, this list is never going to be empty. And so I know that there's another, what's it, update or queue spawn for chunk. We just call the update terrain chunk. So I wonder, yeah, I need some way to tell whether this chunk actually needs to be updated or not from this class. Or update or queue spawn for chunk. So we would be calling, if it's already generated, we would get here. We have the terrain chunk, and we'd be calling update terrain chunk. Now we just return here. Ability is not changed or chunk is currently generating. Skip. Okay, so we're gonna have to split this apart. So we want a different one. If LOD is not changed, we want to call back. If chunk is currently generating, we want to skip. So these are two different conditions now. Now we can do the on chunk finish generating dot broadcast. And what am I broadcasting from this? This, and what is the what's the signature here? It's a Boolean. Wait, what does that represent? True. Oh, for if it's rendered or not. Interesting. Okay, so we'll need to do this, be mesh rendered. And we will want to return there as well. I think this'll work. I think that'll do what we want. So let's skip here. Okay. Are we building? We're building. Cool. So yeah, working on a game. Unreal Engine. It's going to be RPG, Colony Sim, and Roguelite with procedural terrain. Right now we're working on the procedural terrain system. I keep saying we. I'm just so used to saying we. I'm working on the procedural terrain system. Refactoring it a bit because I have these zones and biomes in the world. And they're all going to have randomly chosen like mob spawns in them. And I need to know when the zone is finished generating. All the chunks in a zone are finished generating. I need to know. What game engine is this? Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5. So there's the terrain. It's going. So I spawn like assets and stuff on the terrain on a per chunk basis. There's a chunk. Oh, we finished now. We finished now. Okay, we're spawning the player. We'll see if we actually, yeah, we're gonna spawn the player. Hell yeah. There I am. Now, I think I'm on the edge of, oh yeah, I'm in an ocean. So this is supposed to be ocean. I had to take out the water. I did have water in the game. I had to take it out because I did the 3D noise. And the water was just like a flat plane in the world. So that no longer works when we have underground caves and stuff. And the PCG is not spawning properly. Let's try that again. We'll do a different seed here too. 211, 212. Let's see what 212 looks like. There we go. On my little debug squares. Look at them go. Nice. Nice. A little red zone there. Yeah, so it does run slower, but that's because we're like waiting for all the chunks to get done now instead of just a few. We really only need, because I think before I was just waiting for the surface layer chunks to get done. And now I'm waiting for all the bottom ones too, all the underground ones, which I don't need to be doing. So we'll want to do some refactors for that. I can't believe that kind of worked first try almost. I was so close to working first try, but now PCG kind of sucks at running right now. I don't know why. Like there should be like trees and stuff all over. Let me nuke my cache here. My project saved, save games, yeah. Nuke it. Okay. Let's try that again. Still no PCG running, which seems strange. Did I change? I forget if I changed that or not. It'll be in terrain chunk. PCG is the procedural content generation, so that's like what spawns all the trees and the biome assets. Where's run PCG? Run PCG. Yeah, let me open up the logs here. We are doing quite a few things. Yeah, PCG it's starting for all of them. Wait, why is it all of a sudden not working now? Why is it not doing nothing? I don't recognize the editor other than it looks like JetBrains. Yeah, the IDE is Writer. Oh yeah, we have a super spammy log now too. We should get rid of that. Okay, so it is still trying to run PCG. It's still trying to. I saw some of the logs. Yeah, this is Writer, which is JetBrains IDE for game dev for Unreal Engine. I think you can do it for Unity as well. Very cool project. Thank you. Thank you. Where's the world generated in log? Yeah, we need to comment that out. The game engine itself doesn't have an IDE. No, because it's C++ is the code, is the language it's written in. So you either want to use Visual Studio or Writer for that. There is like a visual scripting interface where you can do things like this in the engine, like blueprints or what that's called. I've only worked with the Roblox game. Oh yeah, so that's like their own like ecosystem. That is their own ecosystem. Oh, and we're like spawning the player like every fucking time too. Yeah, we changed quite a bit. Yeah, so take that log. Put that there too. Yeah, Roblox probably has their own language as well, I would imagine. Yeah, but the PCG is not working properly anymore, and I'm wondering, I did add in the background spell. So let me see if I take that out. We'll save that. Let's rerun, maybe grab a new seed as well. Okay, so we're gonna do seed 213. We're gonna wait for this to compile. We'll rerun it and see if we get PCG to run better. We're at the logs too. There's probably a ton down there. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm already seeing more. Interesting. Okay, weird. Very weird. Why would that matter? Why is this, why does my subgraph, is it because it throws an error so it like never completes or something? The algorithm said watch this. Yeah, the YouTube Shorts algo really, it likes to pop off in the beginning of the stream, and then it like, everything settles down, you know? Roblox is just Lua. Interesting, okay. Looks great, man. I've corrected my blood to caffeine ratio, so I have to get to work. Subbed like. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Welcome in, Bag Fries. And thanks for stopping by. Have a great time from a fellow game dev, and you as well. And you as well. Yeah, but now we actually got stuff spawned. Okay, so here's our caves too. Are you using quad tree algorithm for terrain chunking? No. Or just creating meshes for the landscapes. Yeah, so the way the terrain, if you're just talking about, like I'm just using a simple grid, right? Just a simple 3D grid for this. So if I were to kind of go under here, there's a piece, and they all have coordinates, right? So if I look over here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Here, let me make this bigger. Oh, that doesn't work either. Here, let me show you. So here's the world map. Each pixel on here is a terrain chunk, and you can see some information up here at the top about that. Actually, I'll close that out now that it's working. Here we go. And so each one of these different colors is a zone. And each of these zones have like a different terrain noise. It's all like parameterized noise that I use. And then they each have their own like biomes and assets and stuff that they should spawn. But we only have a couple different biomes. We only have like 4 or 5 different kinds of terrain noises. Like this is the terrain noise in this zone is like kind of like a flat zone. And then there are border mountains around each zone. And so this zone has some like kind of larger features on it, the terrain noise. And then they all blend into each other. If there weren't mountains here, you'd see the noise blend. And you can kind of actually see that here, how it gets lower. This might be lower altitude over here. And this is my meadows as well. Oh, and it looks like there's actually 2 different zones here. So that's actually, yeah, this is 2 different zones. So you can see this actually is an example of the noises blending. So there's like a taller noise over here, kind of a bumpier one over here. Damn, I want to learn game dev, but all I know is web development. Hey, that's what I was doing. Well, that's what I do for my day job. No, not shorts. Oh, interesting. Found me not through shorts. That is interesting. This is all seeded, Twister. Twister saying, terrain is a function of the seed. Are you planning on having random generation at runtime or baking a specific seed in when you ship the game? Seems like you're entering it in the editor. Yeah, so there is a seed that I can enter in. We can check out a different one too. What am I on? Seed 212? 213. So we'll go 214. So yeah, it's all runtime generated. Every world will be different, like Minecraft, you know. Like I said, we only have a couple different biomes right now. Only a couple different ones, so they all look kind of samey. But we do get some pretty cool looking stuff every once in a while. We got the 3D noise as well. So we have a height map compute shader that generates the height map. Then there's a 3D noise shader that generates all the caves and stuff. And then we kind of combine those together in a customized marching cubes algorithm. And so we have all these different zones in here that'll be really cool. Like this is, I just have an LLM generate names for me. And so this is called the Verdian Coast. It's supposed to be a swamp. This is the Slumbering Dragon, which is a forest. Watchtower Peaks, which is a desert. The names don't exactly make sense. Emberreach Bastion. Widow's Peak. Xanthic Dunes. The Orb of Vision. Zephyr Heights. Yeah. So each of these will have kind of different stories being told in them and different terrain noises and stuff like that. Oh god, it's laggy. What's happening right now? Okay, we were like generating some stuff, I guess. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. What branch of mathematics I should study or familiarize first when learning game dev? Just learn what you need to. Hop in, try to make a character move around in the world. You know, pick a game engine first. If you're a coder, you know, the world is your oyster there. If you're not, Unreal Engine might be the best choice because they have a visual... They do have a visual scripting language here. This is a PCG graph, so it's a little bit different, but same concept. You've got nodes and noodles that you need to connect. So even if you don't know how to code, you can still hop in. Unreal Engine is a pretty powerful engine, but that means there's a lot of systems in it. Dude, what is happening? Let me do a quick trace right now. I need to see what's happening. Why it's so laggy. Just give me a few frames here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I would just say learn what you need to when you need to. That's my way of doing it here. Oh yeah, there's some PCG graph that's still trying to execute. Yeah, with the 5.6 updated, PCG seems to, okay. I think, oh, we're done now. We're done now. Now it's back. Now we're back. We're just in a giant forest, I guess. But yeah, 3D math is going to be helpful, but yeah, just learn that when you get there. I hate Lua for game dev. Personally, I've only worked with vector math and trigonometry. Yeah, I've had to learn a bit of that as well. I'm a college dropout, so I don't have good math skills. Or is learning game dev better with hands-on creating it? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Fabre. Just get your hands on it, start learning. I was a Minecraft modder in a different life. Familiar ideas. Yeah. So there's a good talk by the guy who rewrote the Minecraft like cave generation and stuff, where they talk about some of the different techniques they use. And I stole my noodles from them. So you see I have these like noodly caves. They didn't tell you how to do it, but they were just saying like, yeah, we have noodle caves, and then they called them cheese caves, but they're like these blobby ones. And then they kind of like connect in interesting ways. I'm not quite happy with my noodles because they're very circular, but there is a way to generate them a little bit better that I'll need to look into. But yeah, here would be like the entrance to a cave. And if you follow this cave, you know, you get deeper and deeper. Eventually I'll have ore down here and monsters down here, so there's actually stuff to do and reasons to go down here. Right now it's just kind of pretty to look at. Yeah, still need some work on the caves. .3D geometry and discrete math, yeah. I'm using world partition system. No, so this is all my own stuff. This is all my own creation. These are all dynamic mesh chunks. So if you're familiar with Unreal Engine, you may know what a dynamic chunk mesh or dynamic mesh component. My name for it is dynamic chunk mesh. And so that's something where you can supply the vertices and triangles on your own. So that's what that data looks like right here. The Unreal Flame graph thing is sick. Yeah, the Unreal Insight's super helpful for profiling this kind of stuff. Why are developers choosing UE5 over UE4? Because it's got all the new shiny stuff. I say this because almost every UE5 games have been horribly optimized for my mid-ranged PC. Yeah, your mid-ranged PC might not be as mid-range as you think anymore. But yeah, that's I would say that's largely on management. I think a lot of companies just don't have the runway or the money to optimize things. And I'll blame Unreal Epic a little bit there too. I think Epic is trying to sell some of these new technologies like Nanite and Lumen as like, you know, just click it and it works type of things. But no, you actually do need to make your game specifically to use those things and work within it. And you do need to optimize. So I think it's a combination of Epic kind of marketing it a little too hard and also the management of game companies not allowing game devs to properly optimize their games before it comes out. What game you cooking? So I'm working on it'll be RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. And so I don't know, maybe you can see here. Oh no, you guys probably can't. Maybe let me pop open the output log and then maybe it'll show up here for you guys over on come on. Oh, there's so many logs. Can Python be used in game development? I mean, yeah, you can use any language you want. Okay. Yeah, but here's my little ability bar. So you can use any language you want, but not every game engine can use every language. There is some kind of interop for Python in Unreal Engine, but I'm not sure how that works. What GPU do you use? I have a 3080 Ti. Yeah, here's my little abilities here. So this will be, you know, the RPG part of things. I got some talents that I threw together real quick. Got some different abilities. You know, here's a heal. Boom. For 0. That had no target, so it just went through the roof. Oh yeah, then I broke that. And now I'm out of mana. But yeah, that's kind of like some RPG abilities. And then I have like an entity system. And so I built my own ECS system. Let's do 1,000. Let's see how that goes. Let's do enemy. Let's actually add enemy. We'll do enemy caster. Do 500. No, just do 200. Do 200. Might spawn some combat. There we go. The Dark Souls 2 lo-fi. It is. It is. But this will be for the Colony Sim part of things. I wrote my own system to like efficiently render these guys. And what's cool is like it's so efficient. Like you see all these guys here. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Where'd they go? They're not there anymore. And you'll start to see them pop in and out on the edges of my player fulcrum here. And so I turn around, they're all there. Right? So I'm culling and adding them. But they're still moving around, even though they're not like rendered or anything like this. What's the VRAM? I think it's got 12 gigs. I'm hardly using any of that though. And right now they're all running around looking for food because there's mushrooms in the forest. I think these two guys are eating. They're eating mushrooms right now. The rest of them are running around because they're hungry. And there's not going to be a whole lot of food for them. Oh, these guys found some food too. Yeah, a little bit combat there. He almost got me too. WoW nameplate. Yeah, I remade the WoW nameplate. And then I just got done kind of reworking the building system a little bit. Still some more work to do here. Oh, you're gonna get stuck, buddy. Okay. So you can build houses and stuff for your colonists. They'll have different moods and needs that you'll need to fulfill. You know, if they get hungry, they will die if you don't feed them, you know. You can give them jobs. They'll be able to go like plant things and stuff like that. Am I culling the trees the same way? No, I am not. No, I am not. The trees have dynamic mesh chopping as well. So they're static meshes, and then when the axe connects with them, it like I can do a Boolean subtraction, and then I got some wood from that. So I got 9 wood from that, and so you can send your colonists to go like chop wood for you and stuff like that. Got a dead body there. Can you connect this code base to a GitHub repo? You can, and I have, yes. My web application for almost 8 years, but damn, your stuff looks like fucking magic for me. Hey, I'm a web developer as well. That's how I started. I'm not calling the trees. Trees are nanite, so they don't need to be culled. They do not need to be culled. The only reason I'm culling these guys is to is because I can move them around easier when they don't have. There's extra processing that I have to do. Like, actually, if you look in the distance, all these guys are actually, they're not actors, which is like the the base thing in Unreal Engine. That's like, if you want to make something like a character, its base class is an actor. Actors are a little expensive on a large scale though, and I want like thousands and thousands of these guys in the whole world running at all times, no matter where you are. Like, this isn't going to be the kind of game that does like a sphere of influence like that. Like a sphere of influence where, you know, I'm right here in the world and, you know, I have a colony over here. I want that colony to still be running and stuff like that. And these are actually all instant static meshes instead of skeletal meshes, which is normally what you would have your characters as. And so I use vertex animated texturing, which is a technique to animate things on the GPU rather than the CPU. So very, very, very efficient, but you have to bake all the animations into a texture. And then I send that to an Unreal Engine material, and then the material graph actually like does world position offset things on all the bones of this static mesh. And so I don't need to do that when they're not shown, right? So that's why I turn them off, and they change into they're just little pieces of data at that point. They have no representation in the world. But whenever they come into view, that's when they get their in-world representation. If they're really close to me, that's when they become the actor. That's when they become the full-fledged thing. That's where the little nameplates that showed up, those were all actors. But these are all static meshes that move around and are animated on the GPU. Super, super efficient. Super, super efficient. I don't think the nameplate is the only wow. Yeah, I ripped some of the anims and some of the sounds and some of the icons for placeholder assets. Definitely will need to get those changed at some point. My problem when trying to do game projects is I have no art skills. Me neither. Did you work with an artist or did you make all this? These are all free assets that I've picked up along the way. So Unreal Engine Epic has fab.com, which is their that's like their asset marketplace. So you can either buy stuff off there, and then every 2 weeks they have like a free for the week assets that you can they just make things free, and you can just add those to your library and you can just use those whenever. So this is all stuff that I've picked up from those, or there's also Humble Bundles, which you do have to pay for, but you can get like, let me check actually what's on there right now. Humble Bundle. So there's a bunch of game dev software on there. Let's look here. So like right here, Big Bang Unreal and Unity Asset Packs bundle. So all these asset packs you can get, like you can get these 9 items for $1, and I think usually like you pay $30. Oh, for this one you can pay $20 and you get all these 75 items, which you know, includes this Liartes does a bunch of this stuff. I have a ton of their assets. So like you can get all this for $20 right now, which is a steal. So I've gotten a bunch of these Humble Bundles as well for the assets and stuff. What is this? I might have to pick some of this stuff up. Some nice Tauren looking stuff here. Ooh, I want that grindstone. That'll be good for Colony Sim stuff. Maybe have like a little armor or something. Have an armor that can run the grindstone. Why do they sell it for that cheap? Well, it's a Humble Bundle. So Humble Bundle is like it's a charity thing. So all the money they make, it goes to charity. If you don't know what Humble Bundle is, they do the same for they have like bundles of games as well. So whatever creators, you know, add their assets to here. Get Slay the Spire right now. That's a good one. Potion Craft as well. So you can get all this, and it's like you pay what you want. Pay at least $10 for these 3 items, you know, 16 for these, you know, and it all goes to charity. So stylized, this got some good. I might have to get this pack. We'll see. Oh, that's super stylized, isn't it? Do they have cities and urban areas? Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's all sorts of stuff. They have bundles that go up all the time. It's different all the time. So you just got to go to Humble Bundle, humblebundle.com, and you can see all the stuff they got. Might have to check that out. Just bought it, didn't even look for $20. Yeah, usually those assets are like $20 each You know, so the fact that you can get all of them for 20 bucks is crazy. Will the model still be able to change their LOD based on distance? So with Nanite, you don't need to do that anymore. If you have your assets made specifically for Nanite, you don't do LODs anymore. But there is I do kind of have a de facto LOD system built into my entity system. Like if I run up close to this guy, it actually changes to an actor. But yeah, those are Nanite as well. Those guys are Nanite as well. Acre, hello. I don't know, Acre or Aesir, maybe. Are you able to commit war crimes against the people? Yes. Or are they just for show? Well, right now they're just for show. You can fight them. A little bit of combat. Which actually, let me see. I can spawn some good guys. We'll do warriors. We'll do 200 colonist warriors. So, and this will be super laggy. It's gonna be super lag. Combat is my biggest bottleneck right now, but you can see they're kind of fighting. And this is their like low LOD form here. Why are you guys dancing so much? So the red guys are like hostile. Why are you guys like backing up? I need to fix the movement on there. Okay, we've hit a crash. Why? Why on earth would that be the case? Gotta go to a stupid meeting at my stupid day job. I know the feeling. Dream of being Notch with all my new Humble Bundle assets. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Why would you want them to change into an actor? Because it does look a little bit better. It's a little bit better. If I can get the vertex animated instances to look as good as an actor, then I won't need to. But the actors do have like blend spaces on them, which I'm sampling anyway for the VAT instances. But for now, it's a little bit better. It looks a little bit better. So just when they're really close up, do I change there? Dr. Elliott, welcome in. How you doing, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. You've come just in time to see a crash happen. It is a crash, right? Any logs? Yeah, and you have just some memory allocation issue, I suppose. What was null here? I saw it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Whatever data is trying to be copied here, I suppose. We're just gonna rebuild. We're just gonna rerun that and ignore it until it happens again. Because we're supposed to be testing our terrain generation refactors. Which we're working quite nicely. So let me look at that code again. We need to now, I need the logic. I need to incorporate the logic for the actual terrain generation invoker now. Because right now it's just like kind of hard coded on the terrain gen params as to what the radius should generate as. But we want to wire that up to all the values on the generation invoker. And then I also need to do the underground, like there's going to be a difference between the underground terrain chunks spawning and the surface chunks. Because when you're on the surface, you can see a lot farther. So that radius needs to be different. Close all these. We don't need all these. Get a new seed as well. 214. Let's go 215. Clear logs. We can close that too while we're at it. Okay, seed 215. Let's go. And we are in the middle of an ocean. Middle of the ocean. Oh my gosh. Okay, ignore that. Ignore that. Okay. Okay. So different seed now. 215 was a bad seed. I need to still do some massaging of the start locations. Okay, now we got something. Now we're cooking with something. Where are we at? Okay, a couple different zones. Same biomes in each one. And yeah, it will take a little bit longer to start up with the changes we've made. Okay. Let's look at the world map. Where are we at? What zone am I in right now? I am in the Mirror of Truth, which is a mountain, apparently. And we are right next to the Cloud Serpent's Nest and White Peak Summit, and Twilight Peaks. Midnight Bloom Glade. That sounds cool as fuck. Ironthorn Abyss. Now that would be a cool zone. Mushrooms. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so I need to make a bit of a subscription service as well. System. I keep saying service. System. So that I know when I can spawn my player, and I can stop doing that in the endless terrain. But before we do that, let's change the values over here. So we're gonna clamp to the edges of the world map. That makes sense. Where's the limit? Get num square chunks visible. So that's based on the max distance. So now what I'll need to pass in here is rather get max view distance. Yeah, so we're no longer going to do that. Thanks for the source code. You're welcome. You can have it all. Screenshot to your heart's content. Now this is... Now each generation invoker is going to have this visible distance threshold on it. Yeah, so this is going to... Yeah. Okay, so we're no longer going to have that. So we need to like pass view terrain generation invoker in here. Okay, let me get those parami boys over there. We'll need to import that, of course. Yes. How long have you been working on it? About 2.5 years now. Same amount of time I have been doing game dev. I screenshotted it 2,000 times. I'm gonna go hand by hand and copy each line. Yeah. Have fun with that, my dude. Have fun with that. Okay, so the invoker, get num square chunks visible. I need to... I guess I'll need one of these for each. The surface and underground. Get num square, get num... So let's actually refactor this. Rename this to get num square surface chunks visible. So we're gonna need one for underground, one for surface. And then invoker max view distance is going to be surface generation radius. And yeah, that can be const. So let's just copy pasta that. And so this is going to get num underground chunks visible. Ryder, you gonna... Yes, Ryder will work with me today. Underground generation radius divided by chunk size, rounded to an end. Chunk size, we are getting the square root. Yeah, okay, so we're calculating everything there. Sounds overscoped. How's the scope doing now? Poorly, thank you for asking. It is overscoped. It is overscoped, Melaneth. You are not wrong. Can I ask you a hardware-based question about Unreal Engine 5? You can ask whatever question you want. I don't know that I have good answers for hardware-based questions though. Is it C#? It's C++. Unreal Engine C++, which is kind of its own flavor. Looks really cool. Are there plans for multiplayer? There are plans. It's very slightly multiplayer at the moment. 2 different players can run around in the world. That's about it though. Not everything is replicated. I'm kind of trying to get all the base systems in and connected before I start doing that. But the limit here will be, let's get num surface chunks. And so let's change this then to surface chunk limit. Skibbity-tastic. Yeah, hell yeah. That, you know what? That's the kind of brain rot I expected from streaming on YouTube Shorts. Thank you for not disappointing me. Unreal CPP even has garbage collection. Yep, garbage collection, and it's got all these like fancy macros and U properties, delegates, to connect with its visual scripting system. Do you think the ARC GPUs are actually good for game dev in Unreal Engine 5? I don't know what an ARC GPU is. What does that mean? Intel Arc graphics. I'm gonna say probably not. Probably not. It seems it was an Intel GPU. I'm gonna say no. Intel is not known for their graphics. Going with the upcoming Arc B770. I don't know. I mean, you're taking a gamble there. That's for sure. The garbage collection, not just RAII. And again, another thing I don't know. RAII, what is that? Resource acquisition is initialization. It's a programming technique. Yeah, take that one up with Epic and Unreal Engine and the game developers there, who know a lot more about it than me. Are dual GPU setups profitable for rendering in Unreal Engine 5? Profitable? No. I don't know if you literally mean profitable. You're not going to make money from having 2 GPUs. I don't know if that's what you mean. But you do not need dual GPU setup for Unreal Engine. IntelliJ, right? Yeah, we're looking at Rider right now. We're looking at Rider. That's a new Invoker there. I actually need to set that on my character too. On my player controller. Wait, did it actually show up? That's the question. Did it actually show up? There it is. Okay, yeah, so I can. Surface generation radius is 0. I'll need to actually copy that from the endless terrain. Let's see here. What do we have it at? I have my cheese and noodle cave params right there, of course. Here's the terrain gen params. Okay, what do we got here? What do we got? Detail levels. We got, what is this? 50K? 50K? Visible disk threshold? Okay. So we'll do 50K there. And then I want the underground generation radius to be lower. So I really only, like if you're underground, you really only need a couple chunks in each direction, right? Like if I'm on the surface, obviously I want to see in a wider radius, but like if I'm in this cave right here, like I can't actually see that far. But like I'm in that, there's a chunk right there. So like honestly, a 2 chunk radius is probably totally fine. Is it time saving having dual GPU? I mean, I don't think that's necessary. I would not consider that necessary, or unless you have 2 really shitty GPUs. A dual GPU setup renders faster than a single GPU setup. I mean, I would imagine, but it's just not necessary. It's super not necessary. And yeah. SLI is dead, yeah. So I feel like a lot of people aren't doing the dual GPU thing anymore. Unreal Engine is obtuse as fuck. Just look at the enhanced input system. It's literally the most convoluted input system I've ever seen. There is a reason for it, though. There is a reason for it. I do remember working with it and being like, yeah, this is a little difficult to set up, but it allows you to have like a very extensible system. It's very extensible. Like they're kind of saving you. Like they're like, hey, you need to do a little bit more setup, and that way down the road you're not going to end up refactoring the base input system to do essentially what the enhanced input would be doing anyway. Dr. Elliot, educate these fools. Okay, I changed my player controller at runtime, so now it doesn't want to work, but that's fine. But a chunk is 12,000 schmeckles, so if I wanted a 2-chunk radius, I'm going to go 24K. 24K there. Move distance threshold. Do I have that set? I think it's like 3K. Yeah, 3K. So we're kind of copying all these over. Priority can be 0. We do want to render chunks, so save, compile. Yeah, didn't like that. Didn't like that. I do like that I can edit blueprints at runtime now, but it's not working perfectly. Yeah, they need to make it flexible for literally everything. Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that the Unreal Engine developers are better game developers than you are. I have to keep humbling myself that way. A lot of times I'll be writing something, and someone will come in and be like, hey, did you know there's a system built in that does exactly what you're trying to do? And I'll be like, oh, no, I didn't. And then I use it, I'm like, wow, this is better. I was trying to do my own like geometry scripting, and the built-in geometry scripting library is like, my God, miles ahead of what I would ever be able to do. Okay, so that should be wired up. Now I need to also have the underground chunk limit, so let's work on that while we're building. Underground chunk limit. Kind of a wordy function, isn't it? Gulp. Underground. It's never used. Why is it? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Underground. Oh no, my underground. How many is that in flurbos? I don't know. What is the schmeckle to flurbo ratio nowadays? Okay, so we're gonna need to. So we're doing the X and Y, but we need to do another dist here, a distance check for the. That's the XY. Where's the XY? Here we go. So we need to do the other distance check here. I need to do a distance check here. Why are you streaming in TikTok video format? Oh, just for the. I had a coworker at YouTube tell me that I should stream on YouTube Shorts, and I gotta be honest, it's popping off a little bit. 100 people watching right now, so that's pretty cool. We do have the horizontal streams though. You can find those in my profile. So yeah, plenty. I definitely understand that. That's probably a better format to view this in, but it's really just for the exposure. It's been in flux since the value of 1 went to 0. Oh, I remember those days. Vietnam flashbacks. Okay, but yeah, I need the underground chunk limit here, and then we need to do a distance on this world chord to the player location. So let me copy invoker dist. Yeah, we're gonna do that, except invoker dist. This is going to be. I'm gonna essentially name it the same thing. Get terrain chunk world location, but we need to pass it in this guy here. Invoker to underground chunk dist. So this is squared. This is the squared chunk closest invoker distances. If it does, wait, hang on. What am I doing here? If it doesn't exist in the, I have a map of the distances cached. Oh great, another game where we have to spend days in the config file fixing it ourselves. Hey, you don't know how poorly this is going to be optimized when it comes out. Sicko war main. You don't know that. And you know what? I might have to write some code to just make it fuck up for you. Yeah, blame that on individual devs, not the engine, I think. And honestly, blame that on the individual devs management. It's probably the product managers who are saying, yeah, you don't have time, we don't have runway for you to fix the game. And so they have to ship it as a buggy, unoptimized mess. No developer wants to put their work out there and have it not be optimized, trust me. So I'm gonna blame management for that one. Oh wait, these are floats? I thought we were gonna be working in Schmeckles. Yeah, well unfortunately Unreal Engine hasn't changed their coordinate system to Schmeckles yet. Is it Java? C++. I have been working for years, and I have been optimizing. This is true. We need to actually do something with this value though, now. So, and I was trying to make sure we actually had the distance cached in here, and I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure that I'm putting the cached distance in there. Oh, I am. And we're just doing the distance to... Yeah, we need to do the distance to the underground chunk. I was doing the distance to the surface chunk. Gilly, hello. Doing well. Hope you're well as... I hope you're well as well. That sounded weird. I hope you're well as well, though. And so we also need to check the distance here. And this is less than or equal to this guy up here. Underground chunk limit. Wait a second. No. I don't know that I actually need that. I need this. Because it should always be greater. I'm gonna rely on that always being greater. Run live coding there. Hey Mon, need some advice from you. Well, I can attempt to give it to you. Okay. New seed, of course. Always gotta do new seed for funsies. 217. Let's see how this goes. Okay, it's all ocean. It's completely flat. We're in the ocean. Okay, so we didn't render any of the underground chunks, actually. Well, we spawned a lot faster. The code editor is Writer by JetBrains, which is free for non-commercial use now. Okay, this one is also all ocean, but we're spawning a lot faster because we're not generating the underground chunks at all, actually, anymore. At all. There we go. Now we're getting some juice. I got just a face full of bristles there. Hey, here's a good example of the altitude modifier in play. So on the world map, each pixel is like darker or lighter based on its like black and white value. And so the white ones are higher in altitude. And so like here, we have a lower altitude than over here. And even though it's all the same noise parameters, I have some altitude curves. So an altitude multiplier curve and an altitude offset curve that get applied to every single vertex. And so that kind of allows this smooth blend between the noise. So it's actually lower down here. And you can see that here. So like these darker ones are lower altitude. I think that up here is where we were looking at just a second ago. What am I doing? I'm developing a game in Unreal Engine. Ooh, I like this zone though. This one looks cool. Looks cute. Enrico, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, and so every zone has border mountains around it. And the white dots are breaks in the mountains. I call those zone entrance chunks. Does it load chunks behind you? Yep. It's in a radius. What is on my arm right now? But There are games like Minecraft or Valheim, and they just kind of like seamlessly blend between biomes. There's no like edges or borders to it. And I wanted to go with a more WoW type zone where there's actual defined, it's like a contained, you know, area. It's a zone, it has a name, it's got a story to tell, that kind of thing. And I think that's actually a little bit cooler than just seamlessly blending, although I think I will have some borders that do that. But I think most borders are going to be mountains. That's how they do it in WoW. And so where you see the colors change, there's actually just a mountain around there. And so it'll be up to the players to figure out how to get from zone to zone. Right now we're in the Broken Coast, but the Broken Coast seems there's an entrance up here that goes into Frostspire Refuge, which is a desert, and that name doesn't make sense. We'll work on that. We'll need to shoehorn the LLM to actually know what kind of zone it's naming. Right now it doesn't. Can you procedurally generate planets like No Man's Sky? Yeah, not going for planets. I do not want planets. But I did watch a talk by Sean Murray on his Uber noise function that he wrote for No Man's Sky. And that's how I learned about analytical derivatives, which can describe the rate of change of the noise that you're generating without any extra lookups, which is super useful. Very, very difficult math, though. And we have the Isle of Skulls here, and there's an entrance here. It's also destructible terrain, although it doesn't work well. It's just kind of proof of concepted at the moment. I haven't actually tried it in a moment. Let's see if it still works. See if I can... Oh, yeah, there we go. So there's the destructible terrain. There it is. And you can see, like, I need to do a lot of work on it, because look at all the extra verts it added. Like, it was so high, the resolution is so high, and I do not need all those extra verts. But it will be destructible terrain, and so to get from one zone to another, you could probably dig through the mountain as well. And there's the building system, so you can build up the mountain to get to the other side. And then sometimes you'll be able to find just some 3D noise that goes through. It goes through the... That one doesn't. It'll be some caves that go through the mountains that you can get through. So kind of up to the player to figure out how to get through to the other zones. Oh, here we go. Here's a good example. So if you can build up here, you can actually use this cave to get to the other side. I'm a beginner in programming. I just want to know, how can I be good at it? You just got to keep going, my dude. You got to keep going, keep trying. Pick a project that is enticing to you, that's exciting, that you're interested in, and just start breaking it down into tiny little steps and start figuring out how to do each of those steps. Lots of Googling will be in your future. Lots of Googling. Any plans in pros to move to 5.6? I am on 5.6. Not sure what you mean by new PCG. I've been using PCG the whole time. I know there's some new nodes and stuff. But other than that, is there like there's not like a new version of PCG. Also, Mon, Unreal Engine might be good for you because you don't need to know as much coding because you got this visual scripting interface, although you can do both. They did some new stuff, no? I mean, I think they just added some new nodes and some new debug utilities and stuff. I don't think it's not like an entirely new system by any means. One thing that's really cool though, they have a, let me show this, Forest PCG, one of the new nodes I found. Maybe this was already existing, but they have a pathfinding node, which is really cool. And you can have it output like a spline, which is pretty sweet. And so I had the idea actually. So like take this zone for instance, Voidthorn Ridge. You see how there's these two entrances here. Now, what I can do with PCG is I can pathfind from the center of this chunk to the center of that chunk. And then I can make a procedural path, like inlaid into the terrain. And I think that would be really, really freaking cool. And I can like use that to spatially subtract, do a difference on all the other foliage and trees and whatever else might be in the zone. It'll create like a natural path, which I think will be really cool. So that's an exciting new thing that I might try out. Hey, boss question for you. Okay, ask me a boss question. Would you suggest building the world first, the character functionality, or networking first? I've started building the AI and have them working well. Don't know what next. I think that would probably depend on what your game is about. For me, the world was a very important point. That's what I started working on first. But that answer may not be the same for everyone. So I think the answer is whatever's most important to your game. So if you have a very character-focused game, I like to hop around, do a little bit of everything. Especially because I didn't really know what I'm doing. And honestly, I still don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. So I like to hop around and figure out how all these systems work and then kind of start iterating on each of them once I understand more. And then I usually go back and refactor the system. So once I understand how they'll interact with the other ones. But if you have AI, I suppose you need a character to interact with that AI or do combat against that AI. Get the gameplay loop working. But for me, with the procedural terrain and everything, that was super important. So that was actually the very first thing I started working on. I didn't know Unreal Engine. I didn't know procedural terrain. I didn't know C++. Didn't know game dev at all. So I started all that at the same time, 2.5 years ago. And yeah, that was a fucking slog. Wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so we're not generating any chunks here. We're not generating any underground chunks. Let me see here. Oh, because it's squared. Right, it's squared. I need to fmath. Square that. Yeah, that was never going to work. That was never going to work. I have heard a lot of people say that if your game is going to be multiplayer, you should do that first, or like at least have an idea or something like that. I haven't been doing that, but I don't know that I'm necessarily the best example of how to do things. Okay, are we getting any? Oh yeah, there they go. Now we generated some. That's nice that I can just update it now too, because usually you'd have to move a little bit before it does. What version of UE are you running at the moment? 5.6. We are on the latest version. Also, thanks for the stream. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Multiplayer is quite easy to set up in UE5. Yeah, you know, some game dev, if you stick within the parameters of traditional Unreal Engine, then yes, they have a lot of built-in replication. I am not doing that though, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me. I think I'll even end up rewriting gas. Thinking about doing the core fighting first, player versus AI and player versus player, then build the world. Yeah, if that's going to be the main, you know, gameplay of your game, I have the entire world gray boxed. Okay, it may work on networking. Yeah. I have heard a lot of people say, if you're going to do multiplayer, you know, you need to build your systems with multiplayer in mind. I have seen a lot of that. I have not done that though, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, we did generate a couple extra chunks here. I feel like I'm missing. I feel like there should be one right there. Let's do a new seed. I want to see it generate from scratch. 219. Okay, we're all the way up to 220 now. And it's completely ocean. It is completely ocean. I am getting some more underground chunks though. Okay, 220, 221. Also ocean. Also ocean. Yep. I always spawn the player at 0, 0. And then if 0, 0 happens to be an ocean chunk, then I rerun I grab a new number from the RNG stream. And I do that like, I think 20 times max before I stop. And I need to do a better job. I probably just need to like do an offset where I just scooch the map over until you are on land. I love this noise. This is my favorite noise parameters that I've put. This is like large, what do I call this? Like large hills. Can I get my positive Z? This is a good test too, because I'm not getting my positive Z chunks yet. We'll see if those kick in here in a second. No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay, so we're gonna stick on this seed for a while. Yeah, we do look like we are generating the underground stuff. Where am I? Okay, I'm on the side of a mountain now. It's a horrible start location. Like if you're a new player that knew nothing about this game, you just like walk off the cliff and die. That's your intro to the game. But yeah, we need to get the positive Z chunks going. Why were not those spawned? What is my num positive Z layers here? 0. That is not what it should be. Well, I guess it depends on what the chunk is, right? What chunk are we on? -4, -4. Okay, so let me I guess find the chunk that has one. This is well, first of all, let's find -4, -4, -2, -4. Okay, so -4, -4 is like over here. It's actually off to the side. What if you make script which checks if seed is fine or an ocean and automatically remakes it? Yeah, that's what I was describing. I have that. It recursively tries again 20 times, and then if it still doesn't work after 20 times, I just spawn the player. Because I don't want it to do like an infinite loop. I need to do a better. I think what I'll do is I'll actually like say 0, is actually over here. Like I should probably just add an offset to the nearest zone. That's not ocean. So I just move the map rather than regenerate with a different seed number. I think that's probably a much better way to do it. Yeah, why are we not getting the... I'm gonna guess this logic here is wrong. Okay, so I need to pause this when we're on... Actually, let me go back. What was the chunk that had some positive... what are we at? Chunk 210. So I'm just gonna like... do this. If chunk board XY 210. Let's put a log there and a breakpoint. Wait, I didn't run live coding. You shouldn't have breakpointed on there yet. You shouldn't have known that code would work. You should not have known that. Just, you know, waiting for live coding, the video game. Okay. Okay, so 210. What is your num positive? You actually do have one. You have the right number. You have the right number. Why aren't you spawning that? Oh. Okay. Okay, I know the answer is underground chunk. Yeah, that's actually... Is the map infinite? It could be. I am intentionally capping it because I want the whole world to be online. Like, I want all the entities to be running all over the world, or at least as much as possible. So if it was infinite, I would have a much harder time doing that. But it's 128 by 128 chunks. Each chunk is 12,000 Unreal Schmeckles. So I believe, if I'm remembering the math correctly, that's about 1.5 kilometers. So it's pretty big. And it's not like linear, you know what I mean? Because you can't just run in a straight line because of how the zones are set up. So I think the world's going to feel quite big. It's going to feel quite big. I may even need to make it smaller. Okay, but the invoker chunk chord Z plus Z offset. Well, let's just do this, dot Z. That is more clear. plus z offset if it's less than 0. Well, really, it's about whether or not, because like the height map could actually be underneath the 0. It could be underneath the 0. Yeah. So we got to grab the lowest height map z. Yeah. So we need to grab this, and then we need to check the world location of the chunk, and we need the lower z bound. It's an underground chunk. If the lower z bound, or no, it should be, I want the upper z bound actually. If the upper z bound is greater than exclusive, then what did I name that? I just named the variable. What was it? Lowest height map z. Then we know that it's an underground chunk. So bool b should render underground chunk equals b is underground chunk, and throw this logic in there. Throw that logic in there. And it should be an or now, actually. Or a vertical string that's not cancer. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. I do pride myself on not giving people cancer. That's one of my few positive qualities. Okay, so if the highest height map z is greater than or equal to the lower z bound. Hang on, what is that doing? Yeah, do not queue chunks that are above the highest z as they are completely empty. If the highest height map z is greater than the lower z bound, that means we can do things. Or should render underground chunk, which is if the upper z bound. Okay, let's see what that does. I don't know if that's gonna work. And we do have the horizontal streams available as well. Those are you can find those in the profile. Okay, so what was happening was we were just skipping any positive any positive z terrain chunk being spawned. There we go. It's going. Oh god. What buttons have I pressed? There we go. Yay! Okay, we have the tops of all of our mountains. There they go. There they go. It's working. It's working. Yeah, we're just refactoring the terrain system today. We've had it all working for quite a while, but there's some additional capabilities I need. Oh, we rendered a lot. Welcome in. Okay, so we fixed the positive Z, but we broke the underground Z. We're not supposed to be rendering that many underground. Yeah, and that makes sense. And that makes sense, actually. And should render underground chunk. So it's really, the logic is really and either, it's going to be an or, and either we're not an underground chunk or should render underground chunk. I think that's the juice right there. Another follow, Twister. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Live coding, the video game. Okay. So they're already rendered. So we need to like start over. And another thing on the list is to fix the cleanup. Like they should be ungenerating as well. And so there are some chunks that exist off screen that you don't see that are not actual meshes, but I still have all like the collision data for them. And it's not actual collision data. It's just me storing the vertices and triangle data in like a raw format in a spatial data structure bounding volume hierarchy such that I can still generate a nav mesh on it, even though there's not a mesh built at all. And that helps me save on memory. And then I can, I built my own like line traces for it, so I can still do line traces against it for PCG. And so if you see some of these floating PCG things, when there's not actually a mesh render, that's how that exists. So I basically can't rely on actual collision, like the built-in Unreal Engine collision. I have to rely on the collision system that I've built. Okay, my peaks are gone now. Okay, this is the worst of both worlds. But yeah, so if we look here, like you can see, it knows where caves are going to be, even though I don't actually have a mesh there, because I'm just using the triangle and vertex data. And the nav mesh does the same, although it's probably not generated that far out yet. Oh, did I get the tops? Oh no, it's just the top of that one. Okay. My nav mesh does not want to work right now. No, it doesn't want to be displayed. Okay, so I broke both things, so that actually wasn't. That was not what I should have done. Will I make anti-cheat for this game? I don't know. That's a decision that is quite far down the road for me. I haven't thought about it. Every time you hit a key, it counts it. Yes, that is the count. I like the Control Z one is the best. I've only hit Control Z about 6 or 7 times today. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Usually it's a lot worse than that. Okay. We are going to, I think we should always generate the positive Z chunks, I think. Such a funny idea. I need to make that for my daily work. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. It's just I paid an artist on Fiverr to make a chibi version of me that just smacks his face into the keyboard. That's what it feels like some days. Let's make this a little bit more verbose to work with it better. Is surface chunk. Is it just the opposite? If the lower Z bound of the chunk is less than, if the upper Z bound is greater than the low, no, this is backwards. That's probably why it wasn't working. That's backwards. If the upper Z bound of the chunk is less than the lowest height map Z, it is underground. Yeah, I had that backwards. Oh, and also the upper Z bound is fucking wrong too. Jesus Christ. Oh, AI slop. It was AI slop that did that. Damn it, Copilot. Let me grab a little sparkly boy here. One sec. Oh. Is surface is not the equal case. At least not for what I'm going for. Am I seeing 3 nested for loops? You are. That'll be for the X, Y, and Z coordinates. So you need 3 there. Oh, this is looking hot. Oh yeah, this is what we want. This is what we want. I got my nice little peaks here, my positive Z's, and I'm not generating too many below the surface. Okay, that was it. That was it. Get that out of here. Okay, that is what we want. So now I think what we need to test, I need to run my character around. I need to run, did I break the nav mesh? Oh no, there it is. It's going, it's generating. Just a little slow today, a little slow today. This is so confusing. Yeah, I can imagine I'm not really making a whole lot of sense. It's kind of difficult to explain in a verbose way, as well as I'm working on it in a reliable time frame. I've got a nice orange mango. Sparkly boy here. A lovely breakfast drink. Yeah, let's run around, and I need to make sure. Okay, broke my legs. Ow. I need to make sure that the underground... I guess I'll just head this direction. I need to make sure the underground chunks continue to follow me, as do the rest of the generator. So now we're testing like the movement threshold update. So I have like a minimum amount of movement. Oh, you know what I didn't do? You know what I didn't do? I did not override. Yeah, okay, so this is not gonna work. Okay, this is not gonna work. I need to make a blueprint. Let's make a blueprint. Let's do it. Blueprint class, I want it to be the terrain generation invoker. I have a method on here that I should have overridden that I didn't. BP, I'll do player, controller, let's just say player, terrain, invoker. And I have a function on here I need to override to get the transform. Get owner. Get owner, target is actor component, and then what is this? It's an actor. Okay, so we just get actor transform. And this is how... should that be the default? Maybe I should just make that the default. Oh, well. Maybe I should just make that the default, because I may also end up using this terrain generation invoker for entities as well, which are going to have like their own way to do it. But yeah, I mean, let's just get owner, get transform. Yeah. We'll just do that. We don't need an extra blueprint. Actually. Okay, run it back. So I guess it just thought that my character was always at 0, 0. That's what was happening. That's what was happening. And the different colors for the different boxes are like the different stage of the generation process. So I have, right now I have 3 compute shaders that run. One's for a height map, one's for 3D noise, and another one's for kind of a custom marching cubes that connects them together. And then I also have this like spline distance calculator that I use to generate the mountains. So there's that phase as well. Okay, are we gonna generate things now? Are we gonna generate? Let me look here. Let me see. What is the location that we're getting here? Okay, that's good. But I need it to do the player move update threshold, 3000. So we're not going to get there. We're not going to get there yet. There we go. Now it's doing stuff. Although, why didn't that breakpoint get hit? Oh god, what have I pressed? Y'all ever try to look at your keyboard and there's a mic in the way? Y'all ever do that? Okay, this way I can see what the invoker distance is as a variable when I debug it and stuff. Okay, why am I not hitting that breakpoint, huh? If last update transforms contains... Oh, it never gets added. It never gets added. Oh, so we're not hitting this code at all. Okay, well, I mean, it might still work, because I did see stuff generate. And I guess what we're doing is... Actually, no, because it should be... We'd probably be generating a few more in the underground direction. Let's just keep running and see what happens. And right now I'm just keeping the radius super small for just testing purposes, you know. So when I start up the game, I don't have to wait too long to get into it and stuff. And I have the resolution on the terrain is super low as well. It is still, oh, there's a red zone over there too. Nice. Now did these peaks, yeah, so it finished generating that mountain. Yeah, this is working well. And I think I do see, it's not cleaning anything up, of course, but I think I do see more underground chunks being generated. Although, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so there's no move update threshold, and so I was just checking. I guess the move update threshold then now is like by 12,000. It's 12,000 because that would be like the distance I need to travel to the next series of chunks, right? I don't know. That kind of works well, actually. Kind of works well because I'm iterating over all of them anyway, and I think that's the way I want to keep it. And we're just constantly iterating over every one of these chunks in a particular radius. And Silver Glow Sanctuary, Wyvern's Nest, the Norse Sea of Ice and Sorrow. God, that sounds like a horrible place. Underhoof Plains. Will there be lava or water? I hope so. Definitely water. Lava may be kind of a stretch goal. But, you know, if I have water, I'm not too far off from lava. But yeah. I hope so. I did have water at one point. But that was when I was just doing a height map and I didn't have the 3D noise. And so I just created like a completely flat plane of water on the whole world. Like 0 was water. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I fell in a hole. Stuck it though. It's neat. I want to go like... Oh, I actually am unrendering yeah, I'm unrendering the surface ones. The underground ones are not, though. Okay. Noted, noted. And the cool thing is, like, the nav, like, what's colored in here is the nav mesh. And because I'm just, all I'm doing is saving, like, the raw vertices, the vertexes, vertici, and the triangle information, which is just what order the vertices are connected in. I can just export that. There's just like a built-in function. You can export custom geometry to the nav mesh. And I just give it those buffers, those arrays. And that's how I maintain the nav mesh. Even though there's like, the mesh is actually completely garbage collected and cleaned up out here. But it knows where it's at. And that's how I'm going to be able to move the entities around in memory and stuff like that. Like they'll actually be doing pathfinding and stuff out here. The entities won't actually be things. They're just going to be like pieces of data in memory moving around. And we're trying to... I'm trying to marry the two systems, you know, the terrain and the entity system. But needed to do some more work on the terrain generation stuff. Because I'm going to have like custom spawns, not custom, but like random mob spawns in these zones. And I'm going to do that with PCG. But for that, I wanted to know when the entire zone was done generating. Because like I have a PCG graph for each chunk that runs. It's the same graph, but it runs per chunk. And it uses like spatial noise, so that way they all like match up and stuff. I didn't want to do that with choosing spawn locations because they could overlap, right? Because I wanted like a spawn radius for each entity, like, hey, don't spawn anything else in this radius around me or something, you know? And if I do that on a per chunk basis, I could be overlap. Like this is the corner of a chunk. I could have like 4 entities right here, which I wouldn't want. So I'd rather just run the graph, and also testing it was kind of a pain. It was very slow because it would rerun every single graph on every chunk. And I would rather just have it run once for the entire zone. And so I'll probably need to change the terrain generation to spawn a whole zone at a time, potentially. We'll see. Will this be free or paid? I'm not too sure yet. I'm still super early in the process. If it's free, I don't know how I'd make money off it, so I'm gonna say probably not free. Like, it's not gonna be like a microtransaction game, I can assure you. But I wanted to go like look down into like a cave and see. There's not like too many surface caves though. Maybe we'll just keep running and see what happens. It is running quite smooth though, I must say. I know it probably doesn't look that way. And there are hitches. The hitches are from PCG. PCG in dev mode just wants to cache the whole world. And there's some things I need to fix too, which is what this generation refactor is going to help with as well. Gonna help me fix some other things. Check out these caves over here. Ooh, spooky. Do you stream for fun? Yep. Just for funsies. Okay, that's probably not gonna go a whole lot. That one's fun. This one just goes all the way over. Now there's a good, I need to look down in there because I want to make sure that like once I get over here, if I even can, I'm not sure I can. But I want to make sure if I look down in this cave, I can actually, you know, I don't see straight through it. And actually, let's do a teleport and see what happens. Actually, put me over here. Put me like way over here. Oh God, oh Lord, she running. She's running all right. Okay, so I was way over there. I was over there. That's how big this zone is, by the way. That's how big this zone is. Like from all the way over there to here. That's a long fucking way. Especially when there's all these mountains in the way. It's gonna feel, that's gonna be a big distance. I still am not getting a whole lot of expo. Well, there's one. Can I get over there? Excuse me. Excuse me. I can actually. There's a break in the mountains right here. Where am I though? In reference to that. Okay. We need to go this way. Okay, so there should be a little break in the mountains here around the corner that I think I can get up into if the terrain's not too steep. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Come on. I think I'm gonna have to put climbing in the game. Let me check out the nav mesh right there. Dude, that's crazy. It generated the nav mesh all over here already. That's cool. Yeah, but it looks like the nav mesh does not connect. And it's super laggy when I render this. Okay, yeah, let's just turn that off. Too much. Too much. Am I using world aligned textures? No. No. This is all like vertex data. So another part of the generation process is assigning vertex colors. So I just like take this, for example. I can show there are the colors that I use. Do a backflip. Hey, if you wanna make the animations for that, I would be more than happy to put them in the game. Yeah, if there's an animator out there who wants to make some free assets, by all means. Uh-oh. Okay, we've hit an issue. Atomic. Okay, I have seen this one. This one has popped up before. I don't know why. What are the instances? Okay, we don't even have any debug data right now, do we? Okay, so there goes that one test I wanted to try. We have 234 instances here. I can animate you a Roblox animation. I appreciate the offer. I don't think that's gonna work for what I'm going. Yeah, what happened here? Some geometry shenanigans. Yeah, some geometry shenanigans. Yeah, this is just like super internal. I'm not sure what I would be able to do about this. What's my memory at right now, by the way? I'm only using 17 gigs of memory. Unreal Engine's only using 17 gigs. What are you complaining about? Yeah, everything's looking right in some of these initial functions. Or looking fine, I should say. Maybe right isn't the right term there. Of course, I can't see any of this stuff. Body instance owner is null here. Okay, hang on. Oh, it's supposed to be null. Yeah, it's supposed to be null. Okay, never mind. Yeah, not a whole lot I can do about this, unfortunately, I don't think. Not at the moment, at least. Create geometry. Make implicit pointer. Triangle mesh implicit object. And of course, I just don't have the debug information. Wonderful. I love that for me. I love that for me. Because you know what? It probably would have been too easy to figure out if I had more information. So, that's great. So it's just in the constructor of this implicit object thing. And I don't know what this is. This is in a header, so this is just the definition. Which is an STD atomic. What is that? Let me look that up real quick. This is some regular C++ stuff, so I don't know what it actually means. What does this mean? Each instantiation and full specialization of the template defines an atomic type. If one thread writes to an atomic object while another thread reads from it, the behavior is well defined. Okay, so just cross-thread variables. In addition, access to atomic objects may establish inter-thread synchronization. Either copyable or movable. So there's some threading shenanigans happening here. Okay, so I'm on the game thread right now. What's happening on my other threads? Nothing. 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 Also nothing. Is nothing happening? What do you guys even do here? None of you are doing anything. Okay, yeah, nothing was happening on any of my background threads, it seems. They're all just waiting. What do I pay you guys for, huh? What do I pay you guys for? And so what, like, we're just creating a object, like a class, I suppose, from this make implicit pointer thing. make implicit object pointer. And I guess it just couldn't grab the memory for this weird object. Skip. No thank you. Okay, not working. Sometimes if you just tell the compiler no thank you, or you tell the debugger no thank you, you can just continue. Today is not that day. I'm just gonna type this into crash on. Okay, I can't spell. Unreal Engine crash on STD atomic. Just so a mental note for myself to look that up later. Look that up later. Okay, let's go ahead and rebuild. So this is actually working quite well even without this threshold update stuff, and I might leave that. I'll put to do determine whether I should make this actually work or just delete. That's a decision for a different day. And so the next things, let me pull up my docs here, my little my cute little 62-page doc. Let's see. Oh no, it was here. Okay, it was in this one. So the transient, what else do I need to do? Yeah, we need to do the subscription system. And then I need to clean up the underground chunks. To do clean up underground chunks. And then what's next after that? We kind of sort of fixed chunk cleanup already. Yeah, we kind of did some of all this stuff. Cap the negative Z generation. I need to actually meshify the bottom of the world. Because right now you'll just fall through if you get to below, I think, what, -2? I think I did 2 underground chunks. This is what I need to do. I need to do this as well. Which will be a part of this. Oh yeah, and then I wanted to rewrite my compute shaders to the fast noise library and see how that goes. See if that's any faster, because compute shaders, while they run on the GPU and are very fast, you only have one render thread to run them on. So I'm going to see if having 8 threads instead, but running on the CPU a bit slower, would be beneficial. Okay, keep going. No thank you. See, there's a no thank you case. Oh, we're like right at the crossroads. So here's a nice entrance here. Nice zone entrance chunk between the two zones. I need to do some blending on those 2 different materials. We are in Ironbane Keep. And we were looking at Ironvale Ridge, yeah. And right next to the Sultan's Palace of Opulence. A very opulent looking palace you have there, Mr. Sultan. Cool. Okay, so it's for the most part working, which is nice. That was actually way easier than I thought it was going to be. Another thing I want to put on here, though. Shit, I just lost it. It was in my head. Oh yeah, for the PCG, or for PCG zone spawns will need to generate the whole zone. At a time. Now, let me think about that. Oh boy. Some of these zones are pretty big. Like if I got spawned in this zone, that would generate a lot. Is that realistic? I wanted to do that for just like for iteration and stuff. Iteration speed on the ground. Oh shit, I clicked somewhere. Oh god, where am I? Oh no, I'm gonna fall through the world. There I go again. There I go again. Oh, okay, we landed. Caught us. Okay. Where the hell did I end up? Oh damn, that was a giant mountain here. So that's a cool zone. I'm glad it generated all that, because these are here's like the 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 or 4. That's cool. Now it didn't generate these ones. Wonder if I need to just be higher. I feel like it should have. I feel like it should have generated those. But that's gonna do it for me today. That is going to do it for me today. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the follows and the subscriptions and everything. I appreciate that. I have to go do my day job now. So I am off tomorrow, so I should be streaming tomorrow morning, I think, probably around the same time I started this stream. And so Sovereign, good stream, have a good day. You too, my friend. And Zabib or Zahib, thank you so much. I'm gonna raid Polar Robin, who's another Unreal Engine dev over on Twitch. He's working on a VR Rhythm Tower defense game. So I will send you guys all over there. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out. I hope to stream again. I might actually stream tonight, actually, because I'm gonna be lonely tonight, so I may need you guys. We'll see. So come back in 8 hours. Come back in 8 hours. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.